Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, oh my G, OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, this is Canon Revolutionary. For another short session, I just had to go live on this. My Lord, why have you forsaken us? What is going on? Zelensky lost his freaking mind. The president of Ukraine lost his mind. What? This? Okay, this guy is a professional clown. He's an actor by profession. He was actually a show clown. That's what it is. He's a standard comedian before he became president. Before he was put there by the CIA. Okay. This guy had the audacity, talking back, talking reckless, greasy at the White House in these United States of America, at the Oval Office, talking back, going back and forth with Vance, knowing very well he's a propped up CIA guy. What's up, Roy King, Roy Jr. King? Nice seeing you, brother. Listen, I'm giving it a perspective from a Kenyan point of view. I don't care what your political persuasion, background, but this was the most disrespectful thing I've seen a foreign leader do. OMG. I mean, you don't have to like Trump. I'm telling you, you don't have to like Trump. But the way he was talking back, this is serious. Listen, United States of America gave Ukraine 350 billion US dollars in aid for them to recruit and even help them with military equipment. And there were even special forces who were on the ground. And they even got NATO in there to help Zelensky's punk ass because he was getting whooped. Russia was basically feeling sorry for him. I mean, I know the Western media has been lying to you that Ukraine is beating Russia, is defeating Putin. Putin said it. These are our brothers. He can't go fully nuke. He can't nuke them like he would like to. Because these are historically, there's some parts of Ukraine that speak Russian. Man, I was like, this is crazy. He's a proxy setup for this fall. I guess he is, because now it's gonna be. I don't know what Russia. I mean, I don't know what Trump is gonna do, because I know Trump is gonna meet with Putin very soon. Listen, I'm Team Putin. I'm not lying to you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I like Putin. Putin is the reason why we have the Sahel nation standing right now, where he kicked out the French, kicked out the British and the Americans out of West Africa, and that country is doing everything by themselves. They're standing up for their own self. Okay. Yeah, he's saying Trump doesn't care about Africa or me. Why should he care for you, anyways? I mean, Trump is not God. Do you want him to care for everybody? Like, his main agenda, his main responsibility as the president of these United States of America is to protect Americans' Americans, not to protect Africans. Okay? So let's not get it twisted. So if you're sitting there as an African thinking Trump should be caring about you, I'm sorry, he shouldn't. That's not his responsibility. Yes, Putin has his interest. Of course he has his interest. do you expect him to like give you soldiers and equipment for free? I mean, come on now. Listen, nobody's going to sacrifice their blood, their army, their equipment, money, military tactical know-how for free. I mean, what? Nobody does that. He has to get something, of course. But I'm saying the deal that the Russians are giving us is better than the deal that the United States, the West, is giving us. Because the United States, they want total control of your resources. Plus, they tell you who is supposed to rule you, what you need to plant, what you need to whatever, and you have to follow their agenda with the LGBTQ and all this nonsense that they want. But the Russians are straight business. They're like, listen, you can have it your way. We just want 30% of whatever you're making. That's all we want, okay? Or we want that mine and that mine and that mine for the next 20 years. All the other stuff, it's all you. All right? I'm praising Putin and Trump. Yeah, shamelessly. I am not afraid to say that. I think Putin and Trump having that negotiation and signing a deal is better for the world. Joe Biden almost took us to a nuclear war. I don't know if you do the implications of what's happening with that war in Ukraine. That war in Ukraine is nothing to play with. It was very serious. Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Biden's son, they had some serious interest in Ukraine. Remember that Russian general that they got killed? They were exposing a lot and the connections with people connected to Biden who were having shares in companies that were gaining from this war. Listen, George Soros' involvement in Ukraine, actually he's the one who brought this clown into power to become the Ukrainian president. Do you know who's fighting the Russians there? The Khazarian fake Jews, the same ones that are killing Palestinians. And that's Elon Musk. I'm talking about Ukrainian war. First of all, even if Trump supports the South African, the Afrikaners, about the control of the land, he has no say in it. He doesn't have a power to take that land from the indigenous people. So that's why I don't even care if Trump supports the Afrikaners. He's not going to send a nuclear weapon to bomb South Africa because South Africa, the indigenous people want to control their land. So his political stance on the South African land issue is inconsequential. But I'm talking about Ukraine versus Russia. Listen, Putin was seconds from bombing the crap out of Ukraine. Bro, you don't understand. One of the generals said, listen, he said this. England is a small island, man. If things go south, he can get rid of England, UK, the whole of UK. Promise Baraka, I see you. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Russians were ready to finish the West. In Europe, the only country that can go toe-to-toe with Russia is UK. And they're no match for UK. I mean, sorry, UK is no match for Russia. Okay, yeah, again, I don't know. Let me help you up a little bit, okay? Even if Afrikaner have 75% of the land in South Africa, do you think Trump will send US forces to protect the Afrikaners from the indigenous people from claiming their land back. That's what I want you to think about. That's why I'm saying Trump's stance on the Africana issue, on the land issue in South Africa, is inconsequential. Okay? Right. Boris, Boris, Boris Johnson with his funny haircut. Zelensky is crazy. This is a deep state freaking puppet. And his time is up. His time is up. Biden is out. Trump is saying this bullcrap war needs to stop. It's not good for anybody. Not the United States, not for the West, not for Russia. Like I keep on telling you, listen, do your research. Putin was just holding back. Because he said historically, these guys are part of us, has been part of USSR, Russia. My goodness. Yes, Zelensky needs to watch out. That's what I'm saying. That was, I've never seen this kind of disrespect. At some point, Trump had to tell him to stop and be like, listen, hold up, wait a minute. You got this all the way twisted. We are the one who's making you look like a tough guy. You're a punk without US support. You got it twisted, Mr. Zelensky. This acting thing got you all freaking twisted. Zelensky, you forgot who your sugar daddy is. Oh, by the way, your sugar daddy is out of office. He's Joe Biden. He's somewhere in a nursing home or assisted living. Zelensky lost his mind. He looks high. Rumors is that the dude does coke. He's a cokehead. So I don't know if he was high. He was on that white powder. I don't know. But that was the most disrespectful. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it was Trump or Obama or whoever. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen a foreign national head of state express himself in that manner. But like I said, at some point, Trump had to remind him. It was like, listen, don't get shit twisted. We are the reason. It is the US muscle that keeps you alive. First of all, Zelensky doesn't even live in Ukraine. He lives in Switzerland. But he had to tell him, we are the reason why you're the tough guy. We are the muscle. So if we back out of this deal and we let you go toe to toe with Putin without our help, you are toast, buddy. You are toast. I don't know. Like I said, yeah, listen, people say what you want about Trump. You might not like him because he comes out as arrogant. He talks, he speaks it like it is. He doesn't speak like you're a local politician, you're a normal politician, conventional politician. But it's refreshing. I like that part where he actually he told him, listen up, Mr. Zelensky. We are your muscle. If we back out of this agreement with Russia and let you go at it with Russia, it's not going to end well for you, bruv. It's not going to end well for you. Russia has more nukes than the United States of America. They've been sparing you. Putin has been sparing you. And you're here talking crazy? For a guy who was a professional actor, I'm shocked he couldn't improvise. The deep navies. Oh Lord! Like I said, go, Mr. Deep Navy. Go look at that clip. Zelensky looked like he was high. I'm not kidding you. The guy lives in I think he lives in Switzerland. He doesn't live in Ukraine. And I think it's it's over for him. It's over. Because now, I don't know what's. I think Trump is still going to sign that agreement, a ceasefire deal with Russia. But I think uh, Zelensky is going to be checked. Zelensky, they're going to have to deal with it. Actually, they might even bring criminal charges against Zelensky. This guy lost his mind. He lost his marbles. I've never seen such disrespect. Listen, I'm not even I can care less about what. You know, I do agree with most of the things Trump is trying to do. I don't care much about his personality, but for a foreign head of state to come who has been supported, his country barely is surviving at the mercy of the United States of America. He's there in power, propped up by the CIA, and is out there talking back to the guys who have actually been keeping him alive. Even I was getting hot. Woo-wee. They haven't even started dealing with colored legal migrants in the name of fighting illegal migration. I don't know who you're talking about. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the United States? Listen, if you're talking about the migration issue in the US, how about you look at it like this? What do you want Trump to do? Do you want him to actually, let the borders have porous borders and let anybody come in without being vetted? I mean, some of you guys, just because you've been brainwashed with the mainstream media to think that Trump is a bad guy, so everything he does is about racism, about everything. Come on, you have to use your freaking brain, bro. You saw the thousands of migrants coming from freaking not even Guatemala, down south, El Salvador, whatever, Panama, making their way through the Mexican border, coming in. You know, the places in New York that there were the New York mayor was houses and immigrants having, free places to live with credit cards. That's what I'm saying. Let me put Baraka over here. I see he's asking for a link. Sometimes you gotta think a little. Yeah, so what? He can take all. You know what? I'm for it. Let him take all the Afrikaners in South Africa. Let them go to US if they want to. Let the indigenous Black African people have their land. I'm okay with that. Those people are from the Netherlands. If Trump wants to take them, by all means, take all of them. Let the indigenous South African people have their land. I'm for that. What's wrong with that? If that's what they want. Okay? I'm for that. So whatever. Promise Baraka, there's the link. Guy is talking about taking it. Yeah, let him take him. Take him. Let them take them all the Africana people. You want to go to America, please. Get those big airplanes, those Boeing 747, carry all of them. Let the indigenous African people, Black African people, have their land. If that will solve the issue, so be it. I'm for it. Did you hear him say he'll kick out all the Black African or the other dark immigrants? Did he? Yeah, I'm asking you this. Did Trump say that he's going to take every other immigrant that is not white, he's going to deport him? He just said that the people who are here illegally are going to be deported. I don't even see any problem with that. If you see a problem with that, then okay, whatever. To me, I think that's something reasonable. Just like if you found people in Kenya who are illegal, the Somalis who are here in Kenya illegal, if you found them, don't you want to take them back to their country? What's so racist about that? We have to think sometimes, okay? Jared Karibu, what's going on in your mind? I haven't seen you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Karibu sana.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
I'm
me?
doing good. I can hear you. I've been listening to you, and you seem to be supporting Trump, and I don't know why you're supporting Trump. Uh, because I watched the entire deliberation, and there's something that we must be certain about. Imperialism is imperialism. It doesn't matter whether it's African imperialism, British imperialism, American imperialism, Russian imperialism, like what we are seeing in Ukraine. It is imperialism, and it must be condemned because in 21st century, we must be about creating a free world. Nobody should, no state should be a colony of the other. Like
Jared,
what we are seeing in Russia, where Russia wants to make Ukraine, part of it by force.
that
I watched Trump, and I don't know where the protocol stands. For example, the Ukraine president, the young man, I have problems pronouncing his name, is a serving president of a country called Ukraine, which means he's a head of state. So, if you are head of state, how does a vice president, it does not matter. I know that America is the world superpower. How does a vice president of a country sit in a meeting of two heads of states and you even have an opportunity to interrogate a head of state? Where does it happen? Where have you seen it happen? Tell me, where? Assuming that President William Samoei Ruto, the man we want to remove in Kenya here, visits America, and in that Oval Room, President Trump is seated there. Then there is the vice president, and the vice president is interrogating President William Samoei Ruto. How will we, as the people of Kenya, feel? Where is the sovereignty of Kenya? If we are reduced, to such trash, and let me just call it trash. I know, uh, the way things look, Trump seems to be a negotiator for Russia. And he should just come out frankly and tell Ukraine that he's a negotiator for Russia. Then we know that he's a negotiator for Russia. Listening to that old man, 78 years of age, and now I come to agree with Yoweri Museveni, who say that when a person, those were long time ago. Remember before he discovered that he could age. Those were like 20 years ago. Museveni said that if a person attains over 75 years of age, then that person cannot operate, in a manner that is supposed to operate. There is some diminishing returns in such a person, and that person does not become as effective as he could have been when he was 50 or 60 years. And I think that could be the problem with Trump. The age factor, just like it was with Joe Biden, could be a problem in him. And that's why, it goes against all known protocols by inviting a vice president to sit in a sitting, where, a sitting between him and allows a vice president to interrogate a sitting head of state. Tell me, where has it happened? Assuming that we were to invite him in Kenya here, then he's in a sitting with President William Samoei Ruto, and Kithure Kindiki is interrogating him in the manner that we saw the Vice President of the United States interrogate that he created a Ukraine president. How would it look? These are issues that we must look into, and these are issues that we must raise up.
oh,
Then you listen to Trump, and you see Trump. Let me just finish. You listen to Trump, and you see Trump, a man who comes out as a bully. He comes out a bully. For example, he tells this Ukraine president that you're gambling with the World War III. That's what he told him. Then he told him that you don't have cards. You don't have cards. That's what he told him. Then the vice president tells this gentleman that you even campaigned for the opposition. Eh? That the guy went to America, during the campaign season, and they even campaigned for the opposition. And he even goes to an extent of telling him that to an extent of telling him that to an extent of telling him that do you think that is respect to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent destruction in your country? Look at that arrogancy coming from a vice president, elected as a sitting president of a republic. You know, as much, I've heard you talk, but, I think, this time round, Trump got it wrong. Trump got it wrong. And, that's why the European Union is already offended. Germany is offended. France is offended. And they are saying that they are going to stand with Ukraine. And now, if Trump was worried about third world war, perhaps now we are being confronted with the third world war because now the European Union and its membership are saying that they are going to stand with Ukraine. Now, what will Trump do? Now that the European Union and its membership are saying that they are going to stand with Ukraine. Let me just stop there and allow you to come in.
Yes. Thank you very much for that observation. Of course, we disagree on this issue, which is fine, which makes this discussion also more interesting. I would say this: number one, there's nothing wrong with the vice president being present when the Zelensky President Zelensky was there. Actually, if you listen to their exchange, the Vice President Vance was telling him that, hey, listen, I have some sort of knowledge about this region. I visited it, and so he was engaging him in that manner, just trying to give him his take on how he viewed and given the intelligence and his knowledge about the area and what's going on there. So that's why he was there, to just talk to them. And it's not a breach in protocol. It's okay. The vice president can be there and engage with another head of state. It's not something. There's nothing wrong exactly with that. In this case, things were getting heated up, and Trump had to step in. And just to go back to your whole thing about Russian imperialism. Again, you have to look at the historical aspect of this conflict. Yes, some part of Ukraine has always been historically Russian. There's a huge part of Ukraine that they speak Russians even. They share the same history and culture. But this stems from, there was an agreement, I think, in 1999 when United States, promised Russia. They actually had an agreement. I forgot the name of the agreement of it. They signed down They signed down an agreement between the two nations, NATO being part of US and the Western countries. They signed an agreement that NATO shall not include Ukraine to be part of NATO, and they shall not expand east of Europe. Okay, that was their agreement. But of course, NATO, they breached this agreement, and they kept on expanding, trying to get Ukraine to come to join NATO, to be part of NATO. And just to give you a historical context, that's for Ukraine being next to Russia, for it to become NATO. That means they can have a military base in Ukraine, which will be a threat to Russia. Just imagine if you remember the Cuban crisis, missile crisis, United States was uneasy with the idea of United States with Russia having their troops and their base and their warheads, nuclear warheads pointing at the US. And they even had their fighters flying all 24 hours, so Russia felt threatened by NATO, Ukraine having being part of NATO because of things like this. That's why they signed that agreement that Ukraine will never be NATO. But of course, the West being the West, they reneged on that. And so Putin said, we had an agreement before. If you guys keep on making your way forward and try to include Ukraine to be part of NATO, then I will be forced to take to take military action. And it started with actually Ukraine making their way, taking, I think, was it Crimea or whatever the case is, some parts which are historically Russia. Okay? And Putin won them time and time again. They did not stop. So Putin's was forced, his hands was forced, and he had to act militarily. But Putin was very, very cautious how he was defending these territories militarily. He had targeted, places. He wasn't just carpet bombing the whole place, okay? Because again, even there's videos of Ukrainian people who are in Ukraine who are happy to see Russian forces take over back the town, okay? And we're cussing these Khazarian mafias. These are Nazis, okay, who are fighting for Ukraine. I mean, just do your homework on this. Now, the reason why I say, before I bring in Jay, the reason why I say this was disrespectful from Zelensky, okay? Zelensky is a CIA puppet that was put there, okay, by George Soros and everything after this fake, was it the Orange Movement or whatever the case is, okay? He came to power and he started doing their bidding. Now, for him to be at the State House and behaving in the manner that he was, knowing very well United States have given Ukraine 350 billion US dollars and more, has helped them with military equipment, even special forces and NATO allies joining in, helping in this war. And he acts that way just because Trump said he wants to have a peaceful resolution, to sign a peaceful resolution with Putin to stop this whole war. Okay? For him to behave that way, that was uncalled for. It was utter disrespect. If I was Trump, I would have him arrested, put him in Guantanamo Bay, and have him pay the 350 billion, not leave there until he pay back that money. Okay? That was super disrespectful. So I'm with Russia in this, and I am with Trump in this. There's nothing imperialistic about what Putin and Russia are planning to do. Let me bring in Jay, then I can have Jared reply. Jay, karibu sana. Nice seeing you. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, a long time no see. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the obvious thing is the unipolar world that existed from the fall of the Soviet Union from 91 to 2022, that's gone. You now have multiple powers all looking after each other. The era of just because you're America, because you're on the same team as America, you can do whatever you want. That's all gone. And that's the fact people need to come to terms with.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me. Oh, so yeah, I'm with you. The days of the West just unilaterally doing whatever they want,
They're all gone.
It's all gone. It's changing. It's changing. Now, I was just concentrating on this incident that happened with Trump. I just felt, like I said, in this context, you cannot go to a foreign land, especially the country that's supporting your existence as the president of that nation, and
in a war
behaving
you
in a manner
started.
that was behaving.
In a war you started also.
Huh?
In a war that Zelensky kind of started, or
Yes.
he provoked it. Yeah.
Yes, Zelensky started this war, and people think, people are saying Putin is the bad guy in this. Putin was begging for a ceasefire. He was begging Biden. And if you do your homeworks, your Googles, you'll see the involvement by Biden family with the biggest energy companies in Ukraine.
Lots of Khazarians also.
Yes, Khazarian mafia.
Also, Zelensky is also one of them.
Absolutely. So we take in all the mainstream media, which is controlled by the deep state, this globalist, and we take it as the truth. Oh, Putin is the bad guy. Putin is the bad guy. Trump is the bad guy. But I don't agree with Trump in everything.
There's no good guys. There's no bad guys. Just guys looking after themselves.
Absolutely.
It's how the world was before 91. It's how the world was for thousands and thousands of years.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm, again, like my friend here on the comment section, Mr. Yeah, Soros is telling me George Soros is usually the talking points of white supremacists. I mean, do you know the history of George Soros? The supremacists. Okay, let's talk about the white supremacists. The Khazarian mafia that are fighting, that are actually forcing. If you're African right now, or you're a foreigner and you're a male in Ukraine right now, they will not let you leave. Even the men in Ukraine are forced to join the army by these supremacists. These Khazarian people they have Nazi swastika in their freaking
Yeah,
Nazi
the
regalia.
Azov
Yeah,
Battalion, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And we were being told, and
Because even in World War II, the Ukrainians, the Banderites, collaborated with the Nazis when they invaded.
there you go.
Yeah.
And here we are being told, the Mr. Yah here is telling me, oh, this is a talking point of it. I mean, go look at George Soros' involvement in Ukraine. It's deep. But again, you just, now we're going to get Elon Musk control media.
It's
Huh?
people are just too used to the Disney World from
Right.
'91. It's gone. It's not coming back.
Yes. This is it's a new reality. It's a
You
new
can
world.
either pretend doesn't exist, then it catches you off guard, or you can jump into it and decide your own fate. So yeah.
There you go. That's why I'm saying, okay, on the this guy brought the issue of the Afrikaners land issue in South Africa. Like I say,
It's a nothing bugger.
right.
It's just talking for political points and there from Trump's base, nothing else.
There you go. Because Trump will have no say whatsoever on how that land is being divided. If they, South African indigenous people, the South African government, if they decide to give back the land to the indigenous black people, then so be it. Trump has no say in it. He can give his view or whatever the case is, and maybe try to sanction the government if they feel like that the Afrikaners are being mistreated. But sanction never
And I think also
works.
part of it is South Africa is one of the few countries that's or one of the first ones that were against the whole Palestine-Israel thing and
They
want to see some form of justice. So that's also another thing.
Yes, they actually brought Israel to the ICC, and what's his name? The prime minister, that corrupt man, was Benjamin Netanyahu.
Netanyahu. Yeah.
He is. There's a warrant out for his arrest. Okay, so that's why they are very against South Africans, how South Africans are moving. I mean, this whole thing is interrelated. Yeah, he's saying. So can the rebel tell us why Suprema lean towards Trump? Watch KK rallies. See how white supremacists praise Trump. Of course, there are people, these white supremacists, they think Trump, since he's, giving this nationalistic uh, uh, speeches, is pro-American. They always think that being American is being white. So they associate that with him. And of course, the Roman salute by Elon Musk. I don't know what was that about, but I've seen. I've,
I think
I've
I think it's at such a level of wealth and power, just trying to see what you can get away with.
Right, and I've seen what's her name? The lady that was running for president. I forgot her name already. Uh, um, what's the what's the
These people, they honestly don't matter. It's
right
same thing.
Tamale?
They're all just puppets for.
Yes, she also had. There was a picture of her making a Roman salute. So, I mean, why didn't we make fuss out of that? So anyway, but this guy has always been on my case about Trump, and I've been telling him, listen, I don't agree with everything that he does, but for America, I think he's making good moves. I was a little bit disappointed with the Epstein list. I haven't seen it yet. I think most of it's redacted. What
It's
I heard.
all old information. Also, it's stuff that came out in like 2008, and like half
Yeah,
of it, or
I
like
have
90% of it, is all blanked out for, I don't know, classified or whatever. So yeah.
right, and I'm yet to hear about the JFK files too. Did they release that yet? The JFK, the JFK killing.
Well, Trump works for the same people who had him killed, so that's never happening.
Oh, you're right. Yes, the same Kazarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Anyway,
certain investigations are supposed to happen to certain nuclear plants in the 60s that suddenly went away once he died. So
ah, and also he whatever, JFK, he said that that organization that is very influential, which has 90% of American politicians in their pocket, he classified them as foreign whatever,
Yeah.
a foreign what do you call
And he
it?
told his brother, who also unfortunately died from mysterious circumstances, that he planned
Absolutely.
to break it up into 1,000 pieces.
And do you know what's funny? Gaddafi, when Gaddafi was giving a speech some years back in the UN, he mentioned this.
It's one of those things where it's an open secret, but then
Right.
no one wants to talk about it. But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm even scared of talking about it because I might disappear tomorrow, and there'll be no Kenya revolutionary.
Yeah.
So, but I just thought this was a very interesting exchange by Zelensky. I don't know if this was scripted, but for Zelensky to be out there talking like that and at the Oval Office, that was a no-no. I mean, I could understand Trump's frustration there. So,
Well, he tried to gamble, then he lost. So, God loves a trier.
I mean, what was he trying to accomplish by acting that way?
I think just getting more of the same, but then, yeah, more of the same as he's getting now. So,
But again, he's also an actor, so maybe he was trying just to entertain us, to show off like he has big kahunas as the head of Ukraine. I think his days
yeah.
are numbered. I think his days are
Oh,
numbered.
his days are obviously numbered. Yeah. Now the question is, what happens next? Because the way I see it, it's three possibilities. He gets a trial and like the Ukrainians put him in prison. He is assassinated by the same Azov guys who kind of see him as a traitor to the fatherland or whatever, or he moves to like London or Paris, but then London or Brussels and starts a Ukraine government in exile or something.
Yeah, I think that's well. He lives in Switzerland. He has a big old house
That's,
there,
well, then he can
so
just do it from Switzerland. Then yeah,
he can just continue staying there and
he was
hopefully
ahead of the curve. Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully Putin doesn't send his guys to unalive him. So anyway, this was a short live session. I just wanted to talk about this because it's making news, and I just saw the clip and my jaw dropped. I could not
I've
believe my
watched it
eyes.
3 times. Yeah.
I was like, wow. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Jay, and thank you. What's his name that came here? Jared. This was a short session. I'll come in next time. I'll fix my camera and all that stuff. Guys, if you're going to watch this on repeat, please like, share, comment. This is channel where we talk about world politics as it relates to Kenya. Though this issue today was not relating has nothing to do with Kenya, but since it's a political channel, we'll talk about it because we love. Oh, by the way, Jay, while you're still here, one last question before you leave. Did you hear what Raila Odinga say today, and what do you think his next big move on Tuesday? The big announcement. Is he going to tell us that he's joining hands with Zelensky or something? Well, what's up with Raila
Odinga? He's a man out of time. It's just call it quits. He should just call it quits.
I agree with you. I think he needs to go.
I mean, I think he's also like grooming the next generation of whoever's supposed to.
You see, he has Caswell by his side every day. So maybe Caswell might be. I don't know. Yeah. He just came up with the. It's a mess. It's a mess. But we'll talk about that next session probably tomorrow. But thank you so much, Jay, for stopping by. I haven't seen you for a while. It's been a while. Yeah, do not get lost, and I hope you're subscribed. So every time I come in, you always get me. And
kabisa.
Sawa. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody on the comment section. Yeah. Who else? Let me see. Some Americans were here too. Promise Baraka, obviously too, and everybody else. Deep Navy. Thank you so much for your contribution too, and Roy Jr. I think his name was. Until next time, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you're going to watch this on repeat. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and put the notification on so every time I come in, you can always get me here. Peace and blessings. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Thank you. Peace.